Hello, and you're listening to WITZ, the WITZ. I'm Colin Hurowitz, and this is the one place for all things music and art right here in Douglas County, Oregon. This recording is brought to you by 10 Down Bowling. That's right, we have finally gotten our first sponsor, and we're really excited to have this partnership with 10 Down Bowling. Go play a round of bowling, go check out the arcade, and check out Splits Bar and Grill. That's 10 Down Bowling in Roseburg, Oregon. This recording is also brought to you by the Gene Bechtel School for Music. The Gene Bechtel School, an outstanding music conservatory right here in Douglas County. You can check out bechtelschool.com. That's BECHTEL school.com. This recording is also brought to you by Spider King Studios. Spider King Studios, really great filmmakers, will help you with anything you need. Contact them, go to spiderkingstudios.com. And the Douglas County Music Association. Send us an email at oregondcma@gmail.com. We have some exciting things coming up to share with all of you, but really excited. If everybody gave $10, we would have enough funds to support our community for at least 2 years. If your business would like to consider a sponsorship, please send an email to oregondcma@gmail.com or check out our Venmo at oregondcma. Consider giving today. We need your help. It's time for some old news. Number one, Jason Heald had a show this last Saturday, the 17th, with Deborah Gaddis. And Deborah actually made a comment on the Facebook page, said, "Jason Heald and I had a great time. Thank you to old friends and new friends for showing up to help us spread a little holiday cheer." So it sounds like it was a nice show. A lot of people showed up, and that's great. Always love to hear about shows in town, especially all the way out in the Secret Wine Society in Oakland, Oregon. Number two, another bit of old news. The Oranmore Artisan Meet had widespread haze. That was Sunday, December the 18th. If you didn't hear the last broadcast, let me tell you, Widespread Haze is a time-traveling, hip-shaking, psychedelic rock and roll trio. It's pretty amazing. I haven't heard these guys yet in person, but they've got another show coming up that I'll talk about later in the broadcast. There's a quote from their Facebook page saying, "Thanks to everyone who made it to last Sunday's matinee show at the Oranmore Artisan Meet. We loved seeing you all. We're excited for the next show coming up on New Year's Eve at North 40, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So no sweat on that. So some really cool stuff happening in town. Great. And now for some reviews. You can probably tell that my voice is not doing great. So I got sick 2 weeks ago. If you were listening to the broadcast with the Umpqua Singers interviews, which was a great show, but that was a great episode. If you've not checked out the Umpqua Singers interviews, you need to go check that out, please. I really, really appreciate it. But I was sick during that shoot. I was sneezing, hacking, and coughing, and I continued to teach at Hillcrest all week. Hacking, I wasn't sick enough to stay at home. I was just sick enough to continue going to school. I know, right? I know exactly what you're thinking. But and then I lost my voice like about 5 days ago. So I was like, oh no, am I going to be able to do a broadcast this week? So you can probably tell my voice is a little shot. You can hear a little crackling, but it's hard when you're trying to do a show where your voice is the thing that makes the show and then your voice doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So I do apologize if you hear some cracking or my voice quality seems less than what it should be. So hopefully by the new year, my voice will be back to where it is, and it'll be back to business. So no sweat, you guys. I hope you all are staying safe and not getting sick. Just wash your hands. And don't forget, Positive open mic in Roseburg every second Wednesday of the month. So I think that this month's open mic is already passed. So check out the next open mic in January. The second Wednesday in January at 6:30 p.m., a nighttime thing. This is where you do that positive songwriting that Sean Shea's talked about. I've been talking about it for a long time now. That's at the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Say that 14 times fast. Why 14? I don't know. Why not? Number two, don't forget about Canyonville's Farmers Market. That's also on Wednesdays. That's every Wednesday from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Now, I haven't gone to that either. I usually work during the day, but during this holiday break, I may go check that out. Why not? Go all the way down to Canyonville and see what they've got going on. That's at the south parking lot at Seven Feathers Hotel and Casino. Check that out. And last but not least, the Umpqua Valley Farmers Market open every Saturday. So that's this Saturday too. Well, maybe not because it's Christmas Eve. I don't actually know. Maybe I should have looked that up, but that's okay. It's open every Saturday, as far as I know, year round, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Check out the Umpqua Valley Farmers Market today. Coming up. All right. Now, this is not coming up this week, but the following week. This is December the 31st. This is what I started the broadcast with earlier. North 40, our favorite beer place. Saturday, December the 31st at 8 p.m. Here's the kicker. To 12:30 a.m. So this show is going to be at least 4 hours long, and it's going to go past midnight to celebrate the new year. That sounds pretty exciting, but it's not just one group. It's several groups. Let's take a look. Say goodbye to 2022 at North 40. We have DJ Edgelon. That sounds pretty awesome. Getting the party started at 8 p.m. using the music of modern-day Africa to invoke fun and love on the dance floor. Then Luke Thomas takes the stage. Luke, if you've never heard of Luke is a Northwest-based singer, musician, and songwriter, currently exploring psychedelic violin, guitar, and mandolin. That sounds pretty fun. Widespread Haze will follow to keep things going with some psychedelic rock and roll. That sounds like a pretty packed show. A lot of psychedelic stuff going on there. That's interesting. I'm sure what they mean is it's supposed to be kind of surreal, kind of trippy, for lack of a better term. Not just your typical bluegrass, your typical rock and roll. Probably some extra sounds in there. I'm going to roll the dice and say that there's some electronics involved. I might be wrong, but using electronics to create these ethereal effects is quite common, especially in modern music, today's music. We have the technology. Why not? So, you know what? I might even go check that out. If I'm lucky enough and I have the energy and the strength, I'm going to go to North 40 on Saturday, December the 31st at 8 p.m. to 12:30 a.m., listening to DJ Edgelon, Luke Thomas, and Widespread Haze. Check that out. Now, this is something new. Usually I talk about shows, but 'tis the season. So not most shows from what I've observed right now are church services. That's mostly what I have observed. Now, if there are other things happening out there that are not being shared on the Facebook page and not being told to me, you can send an email to OregonDCMA@gmail.com, and you can let us know whatever you want. If you've got a show happening somewhere and you want us to talk about it, all you have to do is send us an email. We're here to help you get people to your show. So send us an email at OregonDCMA@gmail.com, especially if you have criticisms or comments. If you want me to talk about something specific, I'm trying to keep things in music and art right now, but I may start branching out a little bit to restaurant reviews and local businesses, and I don't know. We'll make it organic, and we'll make it all natural. So, but this is what I wanted to talk about. What is going to happen is I'm going to do a review of some Chinese guchang music. Now, if you don't know what a guchang is, I'll spell it for you. So, get out your search device or get on your computers and search G-U-Z. That's right. Let's try that again. G-U-Z-H-E-N-G. Guchang. Now, this is a Chinese instrument, and it's kind of like it's like a harp you play sideways, but you have picks on your fingers, and you can bend the strings to change the pitch. They sometimes call it the Chinese dulcimer, but I usually notice that dulcimers, you use these little hammers to play, whereas this you're playing with your fingers. So I would check out the guchang, G-U-Z-H-E-N-G. Yeah, in Chinese, the ZH is a J sound, so guchang. Right? So I'm going to be listening to this local artist. Now, you probably have heard of Catherine Kearns. We recently made acquaintance, and she talked about her student, and I'm going to be listening to this guchang album, reading the pamphlet that I was given, and I'm going to be doing a review of that within the next two recordings. Next week's recording is going to be more about wrapping up the new year. I'm going to try to get a full panel together and do like a full panel, quote unquote, podcast kind of open chat. Let's all talk. All the board members of the music association will be there, all of our voice actors, and trying to create like a big panel to have a big discussion about 2023. So this show and next show is mostly going to be short, but I'm excited. Eventually, when the new year starts, I'm going to be reviewing some Chinese guchang music with Catherine Kearns and her students. So tune in a couple weeks to hear about that. And now our feature presentation. Now, I would normally put this in the review section, but I wanted to wait on that because I have a special announcement for this recording. I was able to go to the Yoncalla Elementary School performance in Yoncalla, Oregon. My friend Gavin Pike, who I've talked about multiple times on the program, is now the music director up in Yoncalla, and they hadn't had a program in 3 years, probably thanks to the pandemic or whatever. I mean, it's a smaller area, but Gavin has just walked right in and has just been like, okay, I got this. It's pretty incredible. Before I get to my review, let's go straight to I was able to catch Gavin before his show started, and I got like a 3-minute interview with him. It's real short, but let's check that out first. Hello, and I'm here in Yoncalla with Mr. Gavin Pike. Mr. Gavin, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, wow. We're really excited. You're doing a show today on Monday, December the 19th. Anything you want to share with your audience about your show tonight?
Well, I really think this show is really special because this is the first time in over 3 years that the Yoncalla School District has had anything music related. So they've been without music for a very long time. And so as the viewers can't see, but
yeah, how many people are in the audience right now?
Basically, the whole town is here.
Okay, so I'm looking at, I'm seeing hundreds of people, at least 200 on average. And I'm new to the area too. So, Mr. Gavin, Mr. Pike, what do you expect us to hear this evening?
Well, a big selection, secular, non-secular, lot of Christmas carols. So you'll hear Jingle Bells, you'll hear the classics, you'll hear it all.
And what grade levels are you working with?
Pre-K through 6th grade.
And how many years have you been at our school district?
I started this September.
So you're really only been here for 4 months and you're already putting on a massive Christmas show.
You got that right.
Well, that's outstanding. Mr. Gavin, enjoy your show. I'm really happy to see you here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, as you can see, pretty busy. A lot of stuff going on out there. Now, let me tell you what I saw. So now, I have done shows in my life. I've done lots of different shows. I've done shows at parks where it's kind of a scatter, or I've done during a fair where people just kind of come and go. And I've even had shows at my elementary school. You know, I have had shows fill the house. But the thing is, when you teach in a bigger city like Roseburg, you know, all of the schools are running their own programs. And so each building is kind of getting stuffed with whoever lives in that area. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with this. For example, concerts at Joe Lane or Roseburg High School will fill up with the community, but mostly the community of students who attend those schools, just like any other school. Now, what I saw when I went to Yoncalla is, first of all, I didn't realize that they give smaller schools the biggest gyms there are. I'm not even joking. The Yoncalla's gym it had to have been at least twice the size of our gym at Hillcrest. Like, it had to have been. Now, I don't know if it's because they're also hosting the high school basketball games there or limited resources, but this elementary gymnasium was gigantic. Or maybe it was normal by standard. Maybe our gym is just small. So I was already flabbergasted by, okay, you're having a show in this gigantic gym. Okay. There were at least 300 chairs, 400 chairs, I would say 10 to 15 rows of 30 chairs per row with 2 aisles. It was very well organized. You could tell that the community had been doing this before. There were hundreds of trees, like paper cutout trees, just attached to the wall, and they were all decorated differently. It reminded me of my small school. Like, small communities have this kind of different power that the big cities don't have. Like, when I mean the whole town was there, we're not joking. The whole town of Yoncalla was there, and it was like every single person, you know, many of those people, maybe many of the residents there have kids, and so maybe that's why there were so many, but it was wall to wall, packed, hundreds of people, old, young, teenagers, children. And the thing is, Gavin even had pre-K on stage, which I haven't seen before. I'm sure that's a common thing too, but I don't teach pre-K, so I haven't seen it. But watching Gavin teach and lead, and it was very organized, and the kids were very respectful and polite. It was really quite a good show. Now, I have to be critical, you know me. But the thing is, when you have a new music teacher, you're still building the relationship. And when you also start a new program, you don't have anything to base your experience off of. So a lot of kids were just kind of singing random notes. But the thing is, you can actually hear their voices. Sometimes kids get too scared and they sing the right notes, but you can't, they're just too scared. But Gavin, I have seen children's choirs with 80 kids, 60 kids, 50 kids. Gavin's groups are pretty small, 10 kids, 14 kids, 25 kids. In a gym that seats 400 people, you could still hear the kids from the back of the room. That's where my wife and I were standing. But, just watching, the kids were just having fun and singing their hearts out. And you could tell they were enjoying themselves, that they liked Mr. Gavin, and that they really just enjoyed being on stage. And you could tell the audience was grateful too. So big shout out to Mr. Gavin Pike for an outstanding elementary concert. Kids had fun, parents seemed happy. Gavin, way to demonstrate your leadership at your first teaching job. Well done, sir. And now a winter holiday message. I know what you're thinking. Really? You were gonna sap us with some sappy holiday cheer? You know what? Yeah, I am. And so here we go. I do want to wish all of you. Now, this can be a hard time of year for a lot of people, mostly because the sun has been largely non-existent and it's very cloudy and cold. And so the levels of vitamin D in your body go down, and you start, you need vitamin D to have a good spirit energy. But the truth is, whether you are religious or not religious, or maybe you have a religion that doesn't fit in with this time of year, and maybe you're feeling like pushed to the side, like, oh, is this really all about Christmas or Hanukkah? And it's like, I've always just found this time of year to be very calming and very reflective. Spending time, you always hear the frame like staring at the mirror. I don't find that always to be beneficial. Sometimes you can spend too much time staring at yourself and just being like, oh man, what is wrong with me? But I don't think that's what it is. Being reflective is when you have completed your day, or maybe your day hasn't even started, and you think about all of the decisions and actions that you've decided within the last day, within the last week, and you go back and go, did I make every correct decision? Did I make the best choices? Did I do the best that I could? And if not, what could I have done better? What am I doing right now that's not beneficial to me? Taking time to reflect is really important. Here's the problem. It's really difficult to reflect when you're working hard. That's right. In my opinion, this time of year, for many, many of us, including myself, has just been a time to stop everything and just take a second to just try to breathe and try to look at your own life and go, look how far I've come. Look at all the things that I've done. Or maybe look at getting excited about the things you're going to do. As long as you feel like you're heading somewhere, you're trying to go to the place you want to go to. Do you know where that place is? The thing is, if you're stressed out and burned out and working too hard, you won't get there as fast as you'd like. At least I wouldn't think so. But I mean, I'm sure somebody could prove me wrong on that. But my holiday message for all of you is, whether you celebrate or not, just take some time for yourself. We are trying to do, this time of year is very stressful because many of us are just trying to get everything done for everybody else. You have to take care of yourself first. So I want to wish you all a happy, merry holiday, or no holidays at all, or just just enjoy this time to be with family, especially because many businesses and companies give employees time off during this time. And if you get time off during this time, really take advantage of it. Take that time for yourself. I'm not saying if somebody needs you, respond to that need. But if nobody needs you, take that time to just enjoy being you. Enjoy you doing the things that you like to do. And the thing is, the more time you spend doing the things that you like doing, I think the more you'll enjoy doing the things that you don't like doing, because you'll have those memories of all the times you spent doing those things that you like to do. Many of us don't take enough time for ourselves. So that's my winter holiday message. Well, that seems to be all the time we have for today. Tune in next week for a brand new broadcast featuring Douglas County art, music, and performance. And hopefully we're doing a big chat with everybody, and it should be really fun. And I'm looking forward to that. Once again, this broadcast is brought to you by 10 Down Bowling and Splits Bar and Grill, the Gene Bechtel School for Music, Spider King Studios, and the Douglas County Music Association. We appreciate you tuning in today. I'm Colin Hurwitz, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye, everyone.